You felt it before. You're in a room full of people who like you, maybe even love you, and yet something feels far away, like you're watching your own life through glass. Here's an unsettling thought. What if you're the one who built that glass? Not on purpose, not because you're broken, but because somewhere along the way, you learned that walls feel safer than windows. Today, we're talking about emotional unavailability, not as some diagnosis to slap on your ex, but as a mirror, a way to ask yourself an honest question. Could this be me? Here's a number that might surprise you. Researchers estimate that roughly 1 in 4 adults lean toward what's called an avoidant attachment style. That's not a rare personality quirk. That's a quarter of everyone you've ever dated, worked with, or loved. And it usually starts small. A kid holds up a drawing, nobody looks. A kid cries and gets told to toughen up, over and over and over, until one day that kid, now an adult, doesn't reach out to show anyone anything anymore. This isn't about blame, it's about pattern recognition. Because the wall you built to protect a scared kid might still be standing guard over a grown adult who doesn't need it anymore. Let's give this wall a name. Call it your guardian. Its job since childhood has been simple: keep you from getting hurt again, and it takes that job very, very seriously. The problem? A guardian that never stands down doesn't just block pain, it blocks connection too. Today, we'll walk through 5 signs this guardian might be running your life, quietly, and maybe without your permission. Sign 1. You wear independence like armor. You pride yourself on not needing anyone. Asking for help feels less like teamwork and more like defeat. So you carry it all yourself, even when someone's standing right there, offering to help you carry the load. And underneath that pride, there's usually a quiet belief. Something like, if I need you and you disappoint me, that'll hurt more than doing it alone ever could. So independence stops being a strength, it becomes a hiding place. Sign 2. Your conversations never leave the surface. You're great at banter, work gossip, sports, the news, hobbies, you'll talk for hours. But the moment someone asks, how do you really feel? You feel the ice crack beneath your skates. So you deflect, a joke, a subject change, a perfectly timed, I'm fine. Vulnerability isn't dramatic to you. It's foreign, like a language you never quite learned to speak. Sign 3. The push and the pull. You text nonstop for a week. You plan a future together on a Tuesday. And then Wednesday comes, and suddenly you feel trapped, distant, gone. That's not manipulation. It's not a game. It's 2 competing forces fighting inside you at the exact same time. The hunger for closeness and the terror of it. You're not pulling away from them. You're pulling away from how close you got. Sign 4. You get critical or defensive right when things get close. Someone starts to matter, and suddenly you notice everything wrong with them. Too clingy, too much, not quite right. I like them, but becomes your favorite sentence. Or maybe it goes the other way. Someone questions you, why do you seem so distant lately? And instead of answering, you get defensive, you rationalize, you turn it back on them. Either way, the castle stays sealed, and that was always the point. Sign 5. You'd rather not know what this is. What are we? 4 words that can make your stomach drop. You'd rather keep things comfortably undefined. We're just hanging out. Let's see where it goes. Ambiguity feels like freedom because a label means commitment, and commitment means expectations. And expectations to the guardian standing at your gate look exactly like future pain waiting to happen. So, flawless independence, surface level talk, the push-pull, defensiveness, avoiding labels, 5 bricks, same wall. If 2 or 3 of those sounded uncomfortably familiar, take a breath. This isn't a verdict on your character, it's a map of your defenses, and maps can be redrawn. Now, let's clear up something important. This is not the same thing as being a narcissist. It's not the same as being an introvert either. Introverts can build incredibly deep bonds. They just need quiet to recharge for it. Emotional unavailability isn't about feeling nothing. Often, it's the opposite. These people feel enormous amounts underneath the surface. The wall isn't between them and their emotions. It's between their emotions and everyone else. And here's the part that changes everything. That guardian at your gate, it was never trying to hurt you. It was born the day nobody looked up from their phone. The day vulnerability got punished instead of held. It didn't build that wall to keep you lonely. It built it to keep you alive. So maybe the goal isn't to fire the guardian, tear down the wall in one dramatic afternoon. That almost never works, and it usually backfires. Maybe the goal is smaller, quieter. You simply turn to that old protector and say, "Thank you for keeping me safe, but I'm not that scared kid anymore. I can handle a little more risk than you think." This looks less like tearing down a wall and more like loosening one thread at a time. Telling a friend you're actually not doing great instead of saying "I'm fine." Staying in the room during an uncomfortable conversation instead of changing the subject. Letting the drawbridge crack open just an inch the next time someone gets close. Nobody asks you to demolish the whole fortress today. They're only asking you to notice it's there. Because here's the quiet, hopeful truth researchers keep finding. This isn't a fixed trait stitched into your DNA forever. It's a learned pattern. And anything learned with enough patience can be unlearned. So let's bring it back home. 5 signs. Flawless independence, surface-only talk, the push and the pull, getting defensive when someone gets close, and running from the label every single time. None of these make you unlovable. They make you understandably guarded. There's a difference between the two, and it's a difference worth remembering. You don't need to knock down every wall today. You just need to find one brick and see what happens when you set it down. So here's the only question worth sitting with tonight. Not am I broken, but which one of these 5 did I recognize, and what would it cost you to leave just one door unlocked?